I want to share with you one of the most important skills a singer can have, and it has nothing to do with making any kind of sound. If you have this ability, you can collaborate with your body in the most helpful and rapid ways. You can bring clarity to your technique, and not only is this transformational for your vocal technique, I have found that it's very transformational for your entire way of living. I'm talking about developing the skill of body inquiry. And what I mean by that is visiting different parts of your body and learning how to have a conversation with them. For singing, this could mean having a friendly chat with your abdominal wall, your pharyngeal constrictors, or maybe your trap muscles. So I'll take students through this process all the time, and it is astounding what someone can discover in the space of 90 seconds. If we just give ourselves time to get quiet, to turn toward ourselves with curiosity, empathy, and compassion, and to have the willingness to understand. You find when you do this that your body is so very intelligent. And when presented with helpful information, it immediately integrates that new knowledge. Hey there, if you're new here, my name is Dan Callaway. I teach musical theater voice and vocal pedagogy at Boston Conservatory at Berkeley. More than 25 years kicking around on equity stages and more than 15 years helping folks get to work on Broadway, national tours, regionally and around the world. And I'm very glad you're here with me today. I got a terrific comment from an instrumentalist last week. They said, the problem isn't a lack of understanding of anatomy, it's controlling the anatomy. If someone said, this exercise controls A, this controls B, now this will use A and B together to achieve X, that would be awesome. I'm an instrumentalist just watching this because I don't always feel like grabbing my instrument to make music. Voice is so helpful to us, but it's frustrating that it's not a put your finger here and press this hard kind of problem. And this musician has beautifully encapsulated one of the great struggles of learning to sing. We're learning exercises that make a function behave in a certain way, and then that relates to another function in a certain way. And when you put them together, you achieve an outcome. We're talking about very nuanced, closely related anatomical structures, many of them part of the autonomic nervous system. So these are things we have to allow to engage rather than initiate through conscious effort. That makes learning to sing difficult because we crave control. Of course we do. It's very healthy for us to have agency in certain areas. And so much of singing is about giving over a sense of control, whether it is softening your pharyngeal muscles or letting your larynx respond freely to breath impulse. It can really feel very scary. I tell students all the time, singing is scary. And so we have to recruit our courage along with good information that helps us to integrate and coordinate the systems that create music with our voice. Let me give you the method for this. And I want you to know that you can take this from wherever you are. When I was in undergrad, I had very little access to sensation in my body. Because of events that happened in my childhood, I had cut off awareness and sensation really below my neck. I lived very much in my head. I was busy, I was anxious, I was very fearful, and very unkind to myself. When teachers would later invite me to feel sensation in my body, I would have strong, even angry reactions to these suggestions. It felt scary, it felt disgusting, even sickening to me. So I know what it is to feel ambivalent about your body and not wanting to give it attention. I will also say that singing has turned out to be the main healing modality of my life. This has been a major blessing in my life, along with therapy, spiritual direction, and lots of really great friends who've told me the truth. I have been able to heal and come to a place where I experience life as what I would say a wholehearted person. I'm unafraid of emotion and relating to myself with love and compassion. Most of the time. I'm still afraid of emotion sometimes. So if you can feel your earlobe, let's start there, and you can take it from wherever you are. There's no rush. So let's take a very practical example. A lot of singers struggle with what teachers call clavicular breathing, or high breathing. When people inhale, you often see the rib cage rise high. So there are even muscles, the sternocleidomastoids and the scalenes, they lift the rib cage to draw air in. So, when our rib cage rises, it draws air in because the thoracic cavity is getting bigger. So that's a thing we can do. A more helpful breath for singing allows the diaphragm to descend and the abdominal cavity to stay soft and to displace so that the diaphragm has room to move down. So a lot of times your body knows this information, but still it won't allow the belly to soften. And so this is where body inquiry comes in. So to begin, you need a clear understanding of what's actually happening in your body. The body will only integrate changes that agree with physiological and acoustic reality. So if I think I'll promote lower frequencies in my vocal tract by lowering my soft palate, I can lower it all day, but I'll actually make the space smaller, promoting higher frequencies. So you can hear that in my speech there. So first, with the breathing, the ribs open and the diaphragm descends to expand the thoracic cavity where your lungs are. For the diaphragm to lower, the abdominal wall has to soften so that the viscera below can displace outward. So with that understanding, I'm going to bring my attention to my abdominal wall. I imagine myself inhaling, and then I'm going to ask my abdominals what they think about inhaling. Hey, I'd love to understand, what do you think your job is when we inhale? You might be surprised. Sometimes the body answers immediately with a clear physical release. Sometimes it takes longer. Both are fine. Then I will say to that region, all right, so here's what I've learned about inhaling. I'm talking to my abdominals. I've learned that the diaphragm lowers and flattens, and the abdominal wall softens so that the tummy, liver, intestines, all that can displace and give the lungs some room to move down. So don't force it. I'm going to let that region of my body see the information. So you'll find that it often adjusts immediately and gratefully. When it's just offered some clear information, it's really happy to have it. The parts of our body are like intelligent members of a collaborative team. Once they see the task and how to accomplish it, they're on it. But when we speak to our body with frustration, like, oh, my jaw is so tight, or my breathing is always a problem, it hears that. And just like on any team, being labeled a problem contracts the system instead of helping it function better. So the process looks like this. You're going to visit the region of your body where the inefficiency might be happening. You're going to ask, what does it think about the vocal task? So that could be, again, the abdominal wall. It could be your rib cage. It could be your larynx. It could be the pharynx. You're going to ask, what does it think about the vocal task that we want to do? Then you're going to share new, accurate information about the coordination. You're going to let that region witness the new information, and then you're just going to observe what may change or what may not change. You can apply this, like I said, to your pharyngeal constrictors, so the swallowing muscles. They are brilliant at what they do because sometimes they try to help with sound by constricting. They think they're helping. So say I'm singing an E vowel through passaggio, and my constrictors think they might need to help. So I might get a really tight and pressed sound. So if it's like E, E, my pharyngeal constrictors might be thinking, oh, this is an E vowel. Oh, E vowels are so tricky. We've got to get it out in front of your face. So a lot of times they will engage and try to help sound move forward. So I'll ask, hey, pharynx, what do you think you need to do here? And I'll listen. I'll say, hey, I'm curious. I'm going to sing this E vowel. What do you think about an E vowel? And then I'll say, okay, great. I want to understand. And then I'll say, hey, I've learned that if you soften, it opens up the pharyngeal space, and that lets the soft palate float, creating more resonance. So maybe, and then I'll say, okay, so I've learned some information that, okay, you get to be soft, and that when you are soft, that creates a really helpful amount of space. I can lift the soft palate, and you can just kind of hang out. So I'll have a conversation like that with the pharynx. I'll say, you get to receive vibration. You get to be a resonator. You actually don't even have to get involved with the vowel. The vowel will come to you. So I'll let the body try that again with this new information, and then I'll notice what changes. So, okay, what if I do relax? He. So I can start to play around with that, what's going on. and I'm just meditating into the pharynx. What happens if he's nice and soft? And then you can even play with contrast. You can go back and say, here was the old idea. He, and here's the new idea. He. Then you realize, actually I have a range of options now. So you actually see certain sounds are still on the table. I mean, I might need a squeezy E vowel for something one day, That's actually still a sustainable sound. And this process I have found works way beyond singing. It works just in life in general. For example, if I'm rushing in the morning, I might feel my shoulders tighten, or my chest might have a little bit of a clench here, or I might feel a lot of anxious activity here in my belly. So I can pause and ask, all right, hey, what's going on? If I go to my traps, I'll just say, all right, well, you're getting a little tight there, I see. That small act of curiosity interrupts the cycle of self-criticism that I might be jumping into. It helps my body settle. It helps me be present in my body. And then I can go about the morning. I mean, I'll even do this. I'll model this in front of the boys sometimes, where if I start to get really cranky or impatient with them, I'll stop. I'll say, you know what? I don't want to talk to you that way. I'm going to take a few deep breaths. And I'm feeling really annoyed right now, and I'm going to work through this. So I'll try to say that out loud to show them how I'm trying to check in with my body. And even sometimes our older boy, when I get really impatient or angry, he's like, Daddy, I think you need to take a few deep breaths. So I'm glad he's incorporating the lessons, but it's a big deal. Our body holds this understanding, and it's actually not even what I would call languageable. When I'm listening to my body, it'll give me information that if I try to write an essay on it, it kind of collapses the experience. So you just want to listen, and your body will tell you things, and you'll just have a knowing, I feel like, about certain things. So, and again, like I said, this can happen in 90 seconds of just gentle attention, where you can feel, where if I feel energetic contraction, oh gosh, I feel kind of tight here in my chest. I'm going to go here and just ask, hey, what's going on? What do you believe is happening? And then often you're going to find energy is going to move and change. You might feel crappy for a while. I mean, that's the thing too. It's like, all right, I'm going to allow myself to feel this thing. But I find when you move through it, it just sends a great message to you. It's like, I can actually weather this. I don't need to reach for my phone. I don't need to reach for, for me, a carbohydrate. So, anything to like numb things out. I'm pretty guilty of that. So this has been really good for me just in life. It's like, I can feel this feeling. I can let it, it's getting bigger. Now it's getting a little smaller. Okay. So that's really and that's the truth. That's a great technology just for life and for singing. So if you're having trouble letting the ribs respond to your breath, or you notice engagement in your jaw or your tongue or your knees lock, or your head wants to sort of pitch forward. So you go to that part of your body and say, okay, I want to understand what's happening. Here's the task. What do you think you need to do? Then you let it see the task. Then you see what its idea of its job is. Then you just put your arm around it and say, okay, let's look at this task again, and I've got some new information. I think you'll just be surprised at how quickly it knows what's up. We underestimate how intelligent our bodies are. The mind lives in your entire body. The whole nervous system is intelligent. And in a world that seems to demand speed and reactivity, this practice that invites gentleness, it invites curiosity, it invites wholeheartedness. It feels slow, but paradoxically, it moves you forward quite quickly. So just to recap this, I want you to notice, where do you feel contraction or inefficiency? Ask that region, what are you trying to do? I want to understand. Then you're going to offer new information very gently. And then you're going to let it witness the task again, and then just observe what changes. Go gently, go slowly, meet your body where it's like, yeah, you can come here. If there's a part of your body that doesn't want to be bothered right now, don't go there right now. Yeah. So really listen to yourself. Really listen to yourself and go gently and slowly. If you'd like a clear overview of the systems of singing and how they work together, you can grab my free voice map overview. I'll link that in the description. If you want to go deeper with community, twice monthly Q&A sessions, and a growing library of resources, check out the resource library. That's linked below as well. If this video was helpful, go ahead and like it. And if you'd like to subscribe, you are more than welcome. I love the community that's growing around this channel, and it's just a privilege to get to know you and to answer your questions, interact in the comments. I feel really very lucky. This is one of the reasons that the internet is a great thing. Most of all, please remember there is only one you, and somebody would love to hear the story only you can sing. Love much. Now go sing.